All right, so we are back. I had a question, but I need to go back to the divorce because that's something we didn't discuss. Because like I just said off camera, we real Billy bad when we got somebody hyping us up. So, but when you were by yourself, what did that look like for you? Knowing that, okay, I'm dissolving the marriage. So, what did that look like in that season during that time for you?
For me, it was a devastation.
Yeah.
And I played it off around people, around my family and friends because, they knew they were there to see a lot of what happened.
Okay.
And I couldn't go back and say, well, I don't want to be by myself, or I don't want, I couldn't do that. So
now, did you want to do that though? Did you want to go back?
When I would think about what happened, no.
Yeah.
And then it was like every conversation we would have, because we did talk a lot of, from the day he left until really like now, I'm going to say till maybe last year, he called me every day. So it wasn't like we weren't communicating.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It might have been a conversation like, Tony, why you calling me? What do you want? Or he might be like, girl, just chill. You know, it wasn't always nicey, but we talked.
Okay.
And I don't know, I was just really hurt. I was just hurt throughout because I was like, what do I do now?
Yeah. Well, what emotions did you allow yourself to go through?
I cried a lot when I was by myself.
Okay.
I was mad. I was mad a whole lot. And like I said, when we would talk, it was like that's when it would really come out. And, I remember telling him for the first time, I hate you. Like, I literally hate you. You did this to me. And he was like, what are you talking about? I did what? You took my only opportunity to give birth to my child. You took that from me. I would never experience that. And it just hurt so bad, Pedro. Like, I can't even, even now, there are days now that I'm like, I look at people, or I work with a lot of kids. And I just got like a new group of girls, and they go through the hardest stuff and the things that they share with me, and I'm like, if I had a child, I would never do that. How is it that, I guess that was my question to God. Why would you allow all these people to have kids?
Who obviously didn't want them.
Who didn't want them, or don't have time for them, or don't really, it's like, oh, they old enough to take care of themselves. No. Why would you do that? And I couldn't.
So, okay. Did you ever get an answer?
I was talking to my godmother one day. Talking to her? No, her daughter. And she shared with me that they had been at a baby shower. And her mother began to prophesy at the shower. And, because they were congratulating, everybody was crazy about this girl and the fact that she was having a baby and da-da-da-da. And then my god sister was pregnant at the time. And the reason why she was sharing this with me is because she had just found out she was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
And she didn't want to tell me. Her mom was like, you didn't tell either, how dare you?
Yeah.
And she said, she don't want to hear about me having a baby, and she can't,
Yeah.
And I said, I would never not be happy for
right,
you,
right.
But that was a whole nother, but she was saying how her mom had said that there are so many women out here that are barren, they can't give birth. But there are so many children that need them. And I know that.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want mine. But I kept getting that word.
Yeah.
Like, I never forget Miss Martha Jean said the same thing to me. Yvette, adoption is always available. There are kids, look at you, you love kids. You can get,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what? And that's why I never adopted, because I felt like, even now I feel selfish about that.
No,
because I'm like, I could have.
I mean, I get it, but
I know.
You wanted yours.
Mine,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I'm sorry, I just had to ask that, but I'm sorry, the season of the breakup, the divorce, you said y'all were still talking. So to me, it seemed like it would make it, I don't know, it seemed like to me it would make it worse to talk to him.
It was.
So.
It was hard. But I felt like whenever he would call me, I would be like, oh, I'm going to get you now. Or I'm going to tell you how I feel.
Yeah.
And that's what, I took it as a beat up moment. It was just a time that I can beat up on him. Because you made me suffer. And like I said, even now, like he'll call me and he's like, oh yeah, you still ain't ready. You're right. I don't want to talk to you. Goodbye. I'm never going to be ready. Just remember that. I'm never going to be ready. So we still have those conversations. I'm still... Because I'm like, you don't get it. And it was amazing to me because long after, before we broke up, after we got back from our honeymoon, that December, he went to South Carolina because the baby mama and I had been talking.
Okay.
And I wanted the baby to come here with us.
Okay.
So she allowed him to come. And he stayed his whole Christmas break. I think it was like 2 weeks with us. And we just had fun because he was with me every day. And we just had a ball, And so that was the only time that he had been here to actually stay with me. The next time was the following Easter. And I bought him this big bin. And I just put all this Easter grass in it, clothes, shoes, candy. It was just everything. And I'll never forget taking it to him. And his older sister was there. And she said, I wish I had a mama like that. And I still didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And years later, I mean, it's been maybe 10 years now. I'm home, we're on Facebook, and this is when everybody was really getting back on Facebook. And I got a message in my messenger box. And he says, hi, Mom. I don't know if you remember me or not, but this is Antonio. And I had tears. I cried like a baby because of the fact that he called me Mom.
So you did have a baby.
And I'm like,
oh, that is so sweet.
And I said, I absolutely do remember you. How dare you say that? But from that time to now, every time he comes in town, he and his sister would come see me.
How old is he?
He's 27.
Wow. Jesus.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Has joined the military. Doing him. And she just moved away. She wanted to be on her own, so she's in North Carolina. Okay. But they both keep in touch with me. Aww. And he just called me on my birthday, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that is so sweet.
But it is amazing.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing that me and his dad get into, because he was only on child support for the oldest child. Okay. And that was already a mess. But when the baby, when he finally met her and spent that time with his mom, you just never know why things happen. A year after that, we broke. That was when we just, and she called me, and I'm like, well, I'm still ready. Back there. I'm like, you're the reason why. So she was like, I am in town, and I have baby girl with me.
Well, how'd she get your number? First of all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. That has been my question since then.
Still.
Okay. But she was like, I really need to talk to you, and she had this on, and I was like, okay. I was hanging out with Tamara Samuel back then. I said, okay, Tam, I ain't going with myself. Right. You going with me? She said, I sure am. And we went.
She always.
She was always ready. We went to the hotel. I'll never forget that night. She gave me pictures. The little girl was like 3 at the time. She gave me pictures of her. Looked just like him. All his kids look identical. So she gave me pictures, and I was like, "Thank you." She introduced me to the little girl. She hugged me, and
Yeah.
But she had all her girlfriends posted up in this hotel room. So I'm thinking to myself, what we gonna talk about? Because I'm trying to watch my back right
Hello.
now. Why you got all these girls up in here when you said you wanted to talk to me? So I ain't say much. And she said, I just really wanted to meet you, and I wanted you to meet her. And I know y'all aren't together right now, but I still kind of, So it was a lot of weird stuff. But a couple of months after we broke up, he got, they sent all of his child support back. All the child support he had paid for that little girl, they sent it back to him. And he was wondering why, what's going on. So he called her parents. And basically they were like, well, she passed away. Now, mind you, this was after he and I broke up. Okay? They said she passed away. And they wanted to raise the baby. We don't need anything from you. Because, see, that was their way of taking control. And when you're a dude, dudes don't really, if they're not close to their children, I'm going to put it that way. If they don't have a relationship with their children, they don't think about why this is going on and why this person is saying this and that. Well, he came and told me that the mother had passed. It was only a few months after she had called.
Right.
So everything started to make sense. You're telling me this because if you died, custody would go to him. I would be the woman raising your baby.
The one you didn't want to meet.
The one you didn't want to meet. You see what I'm saying? So all this is coming back to me when Tony's telling me that she passed away. And I'm like in a devastation right now. Because everything is going through my head.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but I ain't doing that with this dude. I can't.
Not gonna happen.
I can't do it. But they ended up raising baby girl. And years later, she attended Hampton. She was going to Hampton University. And his oldest daughter was at VCU, and she was a nurse. Okay, see, they all grown now, right? So what they started doing was the oldest daughter started bringing the kids together.
Okay.
And they would get together for a week out of the summer so they can spend time and get to know one another.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So much had happened, and they made sure they contacted me every time.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? But I never got a chance to meet this girl as an adult.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like she would be pulled out the picture. For some reason, they didn't want me to meet her. So,
oh, wow.
So, a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, his oldest daughter passed away.
Oh, no.
She passed away. She had cancer.
Oh, my goodness.
And her mother and I, we weren't keeping in touch like before. So, I didn't know.
Oh.
Nobody knew because she don't keep in touch with that side of the family. So, nobody knew.
Oh, my goodness.
And it just so happened that morning on Facebook, she was Facebook friends with her cousins.
Okay.
One of the cousins saw it. Called him. Why you ain't tell me she was sick? And he was like, what are you talking about? Because he didn't even know she was sick. They didn't tell him nothing. And so he called me. The mama called me to find out if I knew. And I'm like, no. What's going on?
Yeah.
So she said the funeral is today at 11 o'clock. I said, oh, but I'll be there. And I got dressed, called my best friend. We drove over. It was like right at the cemetery. You know how they have the chapels. We went and I waited for her to get out of the family car. And when she got out of the car, she looked at me and said, what are you doing here? I said, well, my daughter passed. How did you find out? So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do this. You need to go in this family. I'm not going to do this out here. So we went on in, and after it was over, we left.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't see her. It was about 2 weeks later. I was going in the store by Burlington, and here she walks in. And we talked that night for about 3 hours in this store. These people looking at us like, y'all about something? Because we talked about 3 hours.
Wow.
And she was telling me that the baby girl was sick as well.
Oh, no.
I said, is this in his, what's going on? She said, no, they checked, and it's not,
oh, my goodness.
And so I asked her, would she please have this girl to text me or call me? I just really want to, let her know. I'm not a bad person. I just want to know her,
Yeah.
And she said, I will. And, I'm going to try. I'll call her tonight. And later that night, she called me. And that was my first time ever getting a chance to talk to her. But she's about to be a doctor. She's gone away to UCLA for medical school.
Oh, wow.
She's very smart, very well together. It just amazed me because I'm like, what is going on here?
Wow.
But I don't know. I was at church working one day, and somebody called me. Miss Giles called me over the speaker, and she said, Yvette Blanchard, you have a phone call. And, I was picking up the phone, and I talked, and Miss Booker came to the door. She just kind of stood there. When I hung up the phone, she said, when are you getting your divorce? And I said, well, $500, $525, because I want my name changed back. And I'm telling her, I said, this is why I haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
She said, go file. I'm writing your check. I don't want to hear that name again. You're not with him. He's not with you. I want that name to be gone. She wrote me a check that day to go file for my divorce.
Wow. Well, all right.
And that was that.
And there's that. Because no people in high places.
Hello.
I tell you that.
Exactly.
Wow.
It was just such a blessing. But
Yeah.
she, it was just like she just couldn't take
Yeah.
hearing that,
Yeah.
because she knew everything that I was going,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, going through everything, who did you talk to? Like, because being that you're still kind of holding on to that. Because I would assume that that's something that's hard to get past. I hate to say forget, but to get past it. So who was there? Who was there to help you get through it? I mean, because it's not gone, but who's there to help you?
So, I actually got a psychiatrist.
Okay.
And I would go see her. She was a black woman, and I explained to her. She asked me why hadn't I talked to anybody before now, and I said, well, the reason why is because of who my father is.
Okay.
I don't think people could handle me talking to any, what I'm saying, or knowing about everything that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know what was going on. Anyway.
I just didn't think anybody could handle it because he's Bishop Lewis, and how is it that his child would be dealing with it, and so that's why I never talked to anybody.
Okay.
And so she was asking me, stuff like, well, what am I dealing with and how am I doing? And I'm telling her what I'm telling you. And she was like, okay. So she did prescribe because I wasn't sleeping well. It was a lot. I just could not sleep. I couldn't handle it. And he's a jerk. He's a jerk now. I hope he sees me. No, I'm just funny. But
we're going to tag him.
Right. Why you put my face on it? But I just could not. I was upset because I felt like we threw away 14 years of our friendship and we had just left everything like it was. We could have at least still been friends. We lost our friendship. We lost so much.
Yeah.
And that just ate me up. And at that point, I was going through. I was just going through a lot. And as as fat girls, I don't know how many people know that, but, and I know a lot of smaller girls that do the same, but food is a comfort. You know what I'm saying? So when I was going through, it was, let's go to IHOP. Let's go to Pizza Hut. Let's go to Shoney's and get a hot fudge cake. I mean, it was a lot. That, you know, right? It was just a lot, but everything was food. It was food. It was food. And before I knew it, I was 350 pounds, like solid. And I had never been that. I had always been big, but I had never been to the point where I couldn't shop at Lane Bryant.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wear 26, 28. Something is wrong. You know, I'm like, what? You know, it just really messed my head up.
Yeah.
But that's when my doctor suggested that I get the weight loss.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, yes, I always want to be a skinny girl. I'll do it. You know, I'm excited about. I didn't even think about why. I'm just like, yes, I want the. You know, I want the. So they send you to a psychiatrist, and you know, you go through all that, but. Now it's a lot tighter. Like you gotta prove to them that you can lose so much weight and all that. I didn't have to do that. They sent me to a psychiatrist. He met with me about 3 times and he said, "Do you think you're ready?" I said, "Yes." "Do you think I'm ready?" He said, "Well, if you think you're ready, we're gonna sign you off and you're gonna go have that surgery." And I'm like, yes. And that's what happened. So my doctor, her point was, Yvette, there's a new surgery coming out. In January, I'll be certified to do that.
Okay.
Do you want to wait till January or do you want to do it now? Today, if we can. I want to do it now. But she's like, well, if you do this one, it's going to leave a scar. I'm good. I'll take that. Let's do it. Who anybody gonna say it? I can't get a man. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. But I'm like, nobody's gonna say it. I'm good. So I went and had the surgery. And I'm telling you all this about the surgery because when I had the surgery, okay, so she explained it to me. What's gonna happen is your stomach is like a 5-pound bag of sugar. Okay? So when you go to places like Golden Corral and you do the buffet thing, it stretches. That 5-pound bag of sugar, it stretches a little bit. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to staple off 2 ounces of that 5 pounds. So you can only eat 2 ounces of food. And it ain't going to stretch, so you're going to feel it. Oh, great. I'm like, yes, I can do this. It's not even going to stretch. I'll do it. Have the surgery. That evening, they said, okay, we're going to bring your dinner in. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching TV and I'm seeing Pizza Hut and, you know, Outback Steak. And I remember these commercials. That's a shame. That's greedy, right? But these were the commercials that was coming on. I'm like,
this is not what you're going to be eating.
And the thing about it, they gave me like one last meal. You have to eat your one last meal before 12 o'clock the day before. So I go, me and Toy Farrar, I'll never forget that night. We go to, I said, Toy, I want to go to IHOP. Because IHOP had just started offering their banana nut pancakes. And I said, that's what I want for my last meal. Let's go. So Toy's like, well, let's go. We go to IHOP. And I eat and that next day, I'm like, you dummy, you had you could have had pizza, you could have had steak, you could have had.
You wanted pancakes.
Why did you go to Red Lobster? You had pancakes. I was so mad at myself, and I was mad at her when they bought my dinner,
which was
because they bought me a NyQuil cup full of chicken broth, and when I tell you, I couldn't even get through the whole cup, and I was like. But see, let me tell you something about a fat person, because you wouldn't know. But I'm going to tell you something about a fat person.
Oh, this girdle, it doesn't show it, but this stomach is huge.
If I don't chew my food, I don't feel like I'm eating. Okay? So you can take me and get ice cream all day long. I can drink Pepsi all day long. But if I didn't chew nothing, I ain't had nothing to eat.
We did not eat.
Okay.
We had something to drink.
Baby, I was so mad after that. They gave me that chicken broth. And I'm like, but I'm full. I needed you. was like, can I chew some gum? Can I get something? Something got to happen.
Oh my
Baby.
Ooh,
But I said all of that to say, when I got the weight loss, it became harder because I couldn't eat my problems away. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? So I literally have to deal with it. I literally have to deal with the fact that I can't eat. I gotta look at the problem and deal with the issue. And that took me into a deep, dark place. And one day, you were here then, you were living here then. And I'll tell you why. Oh my God, that's
I remember
crazy.
that they will.
You know what you you know what I'm talking about.
That they will. Yes, I do. So I tell you what, we gonna come right back.